The fans were shocked by what they were hearing on the busy internet. People were talking a lot like fire spreading fast. And in the middle of all this is a big surprise that shocked the whole world of hip-hop and love. Erica Mena, who is known for being loud and wild, said something no one saw coming. She is saying that Mendeecees Harris might be the father of her baby. Yes, you heard that right. Even though Yandy Smith is still with Mendeecees, Erica's big words shocked the fans. How did this happen? When did it happen? And most of all, is it true? Some people who know what's going on said things started going wrong after a recent filming of Love and Hip Hop. Erica and Mendeecees were seen talking a lot when the cameras were off. They say Yandi didn't know anything was going on until just now. Fans want answers. People are making big claims. Feelings are getting stronger. Is this just a way to get attention, or is there more to the story? Stay with us, because what's coming next will shock you. The next morning after Erica's tweet, the whole city was full of talk. Podcasts and fan pages started focusing on this big drama. One blogger said Erica was seen holding some papers in her purse after leaving a clinic. Another person said they heard Erica on the phone saying, "I want him to say it, but I already know what the results are." No one knows for sure if these things are true, but fans were going crazy. People were stuck to their phones waiting for something real to be confirmed. Then something leaked online that shook everything. A picture of what looked like a baby test was going around. The names of the mom and dad were hidden, but the paper still looked real. The numbers on it showed a 99.8% match. The internet went wild. Some people said the picture was fake. Others said this was proof. Erica didn't say anything, and the drama got even bigger.
They said things like, "Is it true? Why won't you tell us? This changes everything." But she didn't answer any of them. At the same time, Mendeecees was seen leaving a restaurant in Atlanta with his manager. When someone asked him what happened at dinner, he just shook his head and said, "No comment." But his face showed something else.
Fans who were already stressed out started looking at every little move he made. How he held his jaw tight. How he didn't look anyone in the eyes. It all seemed like he felt guilty. Staying quiet wasn't helping him anymore. But things were even worse for Yandi behind the scenes. People close to her said she had been crying for days. She wasn't eating much and didn't want to leave her house. Her friends tried to make her feel better, but she didn't want to talk. One person said she sadly said, "I don't know what's worse, being lied to or being embarrassed." It was very sad to see Yandi like this, because fans always saw her as strong and calm. Even though people were sending her kind messages online, it wasn't enough to protect her from all the pain. Then something very surprising happened. Erica agreed to do a special interview on a famous podcast. Even before the whole episode came out, the short preview video went viral. Erica sat in a dark room wearing a hoodie and just a little makeup. "I didn't want things to go this far, but I can't stay quiet anymore," she said, her voice shaking. When the show finally came out, people waited excitedly to hear what Erica would say. She shared that she and Mendeecees became close during a hard time in his marriage. She said it started in a simple way, just talking and sharing feelings. But then things went too far. "I knew it was wrong when it happened," she said. "I never meant to get pregnant, but once I did, I had a choice. I'm not proud," she added, wiping a tear. "I could have lied to everyone or told the truth. I chose the truth." The host looked surprised and the room went very quiet. Erica said she had messaged Mendeecees in private and hoped they could handle it nicely. But she felt she had to speak out when he stopped replying and acted like nothing happened. She kept hoping he would do the right thing. But instead he made her feel like she was crazy, like she made it all up. That's when she knew she had to protect her baby, even if it meant hurting people's relationships. The internet went wild after this confession. Fans were shocked. Some praised her for being brave. Others questioned her timing and why she spoke now. But most people couldn't believe what they heard. This wasn't just a rumor anymore, it felt real and serious. Right after that, Mendeecees posted a long message with just words. He wrote, "People say all kinds of things when they're hurt. I've made mistakes. But I've never walked away from what I'm supposed to do." He didn't say yes or no about the baby. He said he stayed quiet to protect his family, not because he felt bad. His message only made people more confused. Fans read every word trying to find out what he meant. What mistakes was he talking about? Was he saying it was true? Later that night, Yandi went live. Her skin looked pale and she didn't seem happy, but her voice was calm. "I know you all want answers," she said. "But honestly, I don't have them. Just like you, I was surprised by all this." She stopped and took a deep breath. "My husband is someone I love. I still believe in our family. And right now I'm just trying to find out what's real." Fans filled the chat with kind messages. Yandi continued, "If this baby is his, we'll face it. But I won't let lies break me. I need the truth, not fake stories, not blogs, not gossip, just facts." Then a new video came out. This one showed Mendeecees and Erica backstage at a past shoot. They were laughing and standing very close. People who didn't believe the story before started to change their minds. "Look at how they stand," a TikTok user said. "You can't fake that kind of closeness." The video was from a few months before Erica said she was pregnant. It changed everything. Just when fans thought it couldn't get messy, a woman showed up. She said she used to date Mendeecees a long time ago. She posted a video on TikTok with the words, "History repeats itself when lessons aren't learned." She didn't say Mendeecees' name, but everyone guessed that's who she meant. People started guessing even more. Some fans thought maybe Erica wasn't the first one to go through this. The story was changing fast. Was Mendeecees hiding more than one secret? Erica posted something new too. It showed a crib being built and said, "Getting ready." This was clearly meant for Mendeecees. It showed she wasn't waiting for him to take action. Some fans didn't like how she was doing things, but others said she was strong and brave. She wasn't going to stop. And then the producers of Bill 1 saw a big chance. There were rumors that all three, Erica, Yandy and Mendeecees, would be filmed in an emergency episode. Sources said they wanted to record a face-to-face talk between everyone. Erica said yes right away. Mendeecees was nervous and Yandy first said no. But after some talking she agreed to join if she could speak last. Fans were shocked. It was hard to think about the three of them in the same room facing the truth on camera. The internet waited for what would happen next. Feelings were very strong as the big day came closer. Erica shared something new. An ultrasound picture. A voice played with it. The sound of a baby's heartbeat. "Every beat reminds me why I'm speaking up," she wrote. This message touched many hearts. Fans wanted to know the truth, whether they liked Erica or Yandy or not. It seemed like the truth was coming even if no one was ready. When the day of the meeting came, the tension was very thick. You could almost cut it with a knife. The room was just bright enough to see everyone's faces. The cameras were on. Backstage people felt like they were about to explode from stress. When Erica came in, she wore simple black clothes. Her belly showed a little, reminding everyone why she was there. She looked calm, but her hands shook a little as she held her phone. 10 minutes later, Mendeecees showed up. He looked more nervous than anyone had ever seen him. He kept walking back and forth and touching his forehead while checking his watch. The people working there tried to calm him down, but he didn't listen. He muttered, "I didn't sign up for this circus," but he didn't leave. He knew leaving would only make things worse. The last person to come in was Yandy. She wore all white like she was at a funeral. Her chin was up, her eyes were cold, and she didn't say anything. Maybe she was sad about the relationship she thought she had. They were all brought into the room one by one. Erica sat on the left, Yandy on the right, and Mendeecees in the middle. There were only 3 chairs and no host. Just a heavy silence full of tension. The room was quiet until Erica finally spoke. "So are we doing this or not?" She sounded strong, but her eyes showed she was scared. A man cleared his throat. "I don't even know where to start." Yandy smiled in a mean way. Maybe Erica leaned forward and said, "I already told you how I feel. I'm here to tell my child who their father is and to tell the world what kind of man you really are." Mendeecees said, "I never said the baby isn't mine. I said the whole thing is ugly and you went public before we could talk privately." Erica quickly replied, "I tried to contact you to keep it private, but you ignored me like I was nobody. So I had to do what I did." This conversation was shared a lot on social media. Yandy crossed her arms and said, "You had to do it." Erica looked at her and said softly, "I know how this looks and I didn't want to hurt you. But imagine being me, scared and pregnant. And the man who might be the father acts like I don't exist. I've been through worse, and trust me, betrayal doesn't come with instructions." Yandy's eyes filled with tears, but she blinked them away before they fell. "But you made a choice too, Mendeecees, in this circus." Mendeecees finally spoke in a tense voice. "I made a mistake. I'm not proud of it, but I didn't want all this trouble. Before this became a reality show, I just wanted time to fix things." Erica laughed bitterly. "You're a reality star," Mendeecees said. "Your whole life is a show." Yandy whispered almost to herself, "Was it ever real?" After this, the room was quiet again for a while. "What we had was real," she said, her eyes softening. "I'm not sure what this is now." The producers watching from the control room knew they had something special. The cameras showed every feeling, every fight, and every sad moment as it happened. When a short video from the meeting leaked, fans went wild. Everyone picked a side and argued online. Mendeecees was caught between Yandy's team and Erica's team. No one wanted to let him get away without answers. Erica took a small folder from her bag and said, "These are the real papers." Mendeecees hesitated, then took the papers and read them quietly. The room was very quiet for a long time. Finally, Mendeecees said, "They are mine." Yandi closed her eyes and sighed deeply. The room felt like it was breaking in two, but Erica stayed calm. "So what happens now?" she asked. "Are you still going to run away?" Mendeecees rubbed his temple and said, "I'm not going anywhere. I will take responsibility. But this changes everything." Yandi stood up and walked back and forth. "It does change everything. Honestly, you had one job and you failed. I supported you through everything. All the jail drama and more. And this is how you thank me." She cried a little. Erica looked away and gave Yandi a chance to speak. "I'm not asking you to forgive him," she said softly. "But don't blame me for what he did." Mendeecees tried to say something but no words came out. Yandi looked at him and shook her head. "I'm done fighting and talking. You two need time to fix the mess you made." After she left, the room was very quiet and tense. The producers asked to stop filming for a moment, but the damage was already done. Outside, the studio reporters surrounded Yandi's car. Even when she kept her head down, one reporter asked, "Are you leaving him?" She didn't answer. Her silence said everything. Inside, Erica sat alone looking at the empty seat where Yandi had been. Finally, Mendeecees said, "This is not what I wanted." Erica gave him a tired look. "But it's what you made happen." 2 days later, the show was on TV and people had strong feelings about it. The comment section was like a battlefield with millions watching. Fans were shocked, angry, and sad. Some praised Erica for being brave. Others blamed her for making it public. Many sent love and support to Yandi. One person posted a picture of Mendeecees with the words, "You can't spell Mendeecees without mess." In another post, Yandi was wearing a crown that said, "Unbothered Royalty." This wasn't just people talking online. Insiders said Veil One was thinking about changing the next episodes to show what was happening now. Brands started pulling out endorsements and putting deals on hold. It had become a huge scandal on its own. In the days after, Erica shared many updates about her journey, but without saying any names. She even posted pictures of the baby's nursery being set up. Meanwhile, Yandi went completely silent. No stories, no posts. Fans wondered if she had moved out, filed for divorce, or was just trying to fix things with Mendeecees. A mysterious video of Mendeecees at a church appeared online, with the caption, "Trying to find peace." But no words or captions could fix the damage. Friends of the couple started speaking out anonymously. One said, "Yandi was caught off guard. She knew things weren't perfect, but she never expected this." Another friend said Erica never wanted to hurt anyone. She only wanted to be seen and to have her child recognized. The whole world watched, waiting to see what would happen next. Everyone's feelings were intense, and there was no clear solution. Just when people thought things might calm down, another shock came. Someone pretending to be Erica's cousin went live on Instagram. They showed screenshots of old chats between Erica and Mendeecees. In the messages, he called her beautiful, said he couldn't stop thinking about their night together, and even wrote, "I wish things were different." Whether the screenshots were real or fake didn't matter anymore. The damage was done. Fans had already made up their minds. One thing was clear: as the interview, the tests, and the emotional moments ended, the world would never be the same. The baby wasn't even born yet, but the public had already picked sides and made a private problem into a huge public story. The truth was slowly coming out behind all the noise and drama. But the story wasn't finished. After the taping, Mendeecees sat alone in his car for about an hour. His phone kept ringing, calls from producers, texts from unknown numbers, and non-stop social media notifications. He knew his world was falling apart, and there was nothing he could do. He read comments, each one hitting him harder than the last. "You destroyed everything. How could you do that to another baby? What about Yandi?" He threw his phone onto the passenger seat, closed the app, and just stared at the steering wheel in shock. Meanwhile, Yandi moved in with a close friend. She ignored calls from family and friends. She needed space, quiet, and time to think. She had stood by him through all the jail rumors and public attacks, but this was the last straw. Her pain was more than betrayal. It felt like humiliation. She stayed hidden for 2 days, not checking messages or answering producers. The only thing keeping her together was her children. She played with them, smiled for them, but behind closed doors, she cried a lot. On the other side, Erica's life was getting even more chaotic. Some fans praised her for telling the truth, but many others insulted her. She was called names like attention seeker, homewrecker, and worse. Strangers even showed up at her job and shared her home address online. The story was bigger than she ever imagined. Even though she tried to keep it private, the baby was already in the middle of a media storm, before it was even born. Seeing how big the drama had gotten, Veil One's producers wanted to make a whole episode about the fallout. They collected confessional videos, audio leaks, and behind-the-scenes footage. They even thought about doing a live reunion show to take advantage of the drama. But Yandy's silence was a big problem. Without her, the story felt unfinished. She was the key person, and her quiet made the situation even heavier. Fans wanted her back on camera more and more. In a voicemail, Mona Scott herself said, "The fans need to hear from you, even if just for 5 minutes. Even if it's only to close this chapter. You don't have to say anything you're not ready to say." Yandy listened to the message but deleted it without replying. She wasn't ready yet. Not when millions of people would watch and judge every move she made. Not when she was still trying to figure out if her relationship was real. Mendeecees tried to contact both women back in the city. He sent long apology emails to Yandy, saying how scared and overwhelmed he had been. He promised to take responsibility for the baby and be there for Erica. He said Yandy was his whole world and that their relationship couldn't end. But Yandy didn't respond. She needed time, even though Mendeecees once tried calling her friend's house. No one answered. He also tried to fix things with Erica, but that didn't go well. She was angry. He was angry she had to face public shame alone while he hid behind excuses. He was angry he was now seen as the victim. Erica said to him, "You made this mess." During a heated phone call, Erica confronted Mendeecees sharply. "You wanted to live like a king, juggling 2 lives, and now that everything is falling apart, you act surprised. No, you don't get confused now." After that call, Erica blocked his number. The cameras, the show, and the headlines didn't matter to her anymore. All she cared about was her peace and protecting her child. She knew everything would change again once the baby was born. She also refused to let the man who had abandoned her during her pregnancy come back and act like a hero, unless he truly earned it. As days passed, new rumors started spreading. Some said Mendeecees was seen at a lounge in Atlanta with a woman no one recognized. Others claimed Yandy had met with a divorce lawyer after moving into a new apartment. Some blogs even suggested the baby wasn't Mendeecees and that Erica had a secret boyfriend all along. None of this was confirmed, but it didn't matter. The gossip itself was everything. The situation was spiraling out of control. A few producers suggested that the 3 try telling their story by filming separately, so they wouldn't have to be in the same room. Mendeecees agreed. Erica reluctantly agreed too. Yandy didn't answer. Right then, everyone thought she was gone for good. But on her Instagram story, Yandy posted a black screen with the caption, "Sometimes silence is strength, but I'll speak soon." The internet blew up. Within minutes, the post spread to blogs everywhere. Fans poured support and questions into the comments. Even the official Bay One page posted, "We're listening, Queen." A week later, Yandy showed up at the studio quietly with her team. No cameras, no announcements. She asked for a private, unedited confessional. Just her and the camera, no producers or audience. They agreed immediately. She sat down, took a deep breath, and began to speak. Her voice was strong but quiet and calm. She didn't hold back. She spoke about the pain, the betrayal, and the sleepless nights. She said she felt exhausted. "I gave him everything," she said, tears welling in her eyes. "I built a life with him. I stood by him when everyone told me not to. Now I'm left to pick up the pieces of something I didn't break. I'm tired of fighting for a man who didn't know how to fight for me. I'm tired of being the strong one." She paused, then continued. "But I'm not bitter. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just done." She ended by saying she would always do what was best for her children, and right now, that meant keeping her peace, no matter what it took. When the confession aired, millions watched. Millions cried. Millions cheered because it was honest and raw. Once again, the story shifted from scandal to strength. Most fans thought Yandy deserved better, although some still hoped Mendeecees and Yandy would reunite. Erica, meanwhile, stayed quiet that whole week. No comments. No new posts. She was focused on surviving the last few weeks of her pregnancy without distractions. Mendeecees was alone in his apartment when he saw Yandy's confession. He said nothing. He just stared at the TV, tears in his eyes. The consequences of his actions hit him hard. He had broken something that might never heal. He had to accept that the trust built over years was shattered. The public might eventually forgive him. The network might spin the story as a redemption arc. But deep down, he knew he had lost the one thing he believed he could always count on. Now the three were on separate paths, connected only by scandal and divided by pain. Outside, the city was alive with reaction videos, news clips, and trending hashtags. The infant would be delivered amid confusion, but perhaps also with clarity. Because the story was far from over, and what had begun as a secret had become a reckoning. Days have not yet passed. Into weeks, and even though the media frenzy had begun to abate, the repercussions in real life were only getting worse. Yandi had formally left the shared house, choosing instead to live in a more intimate, smaller apartment in a gated community where she was difficult for photographers to get to. She restricted who could visit and who knew where she was by keeping her group small. She was making an unreserved choice for herself for the first time in years. She turned down the majority of the brand partnerships and interview opportunities that were coming in from the show. She prioritized recovering over making headlines. In the meantime, Mendeecees discovered that he was going into a downward spiral with. He tried to immerse himself in his work by attending meetings and acting as though he still had control. But his mind kept wandering after Yandy went and Erica fell silent, leaving him alone with his thoughts and the guilt. Every night at home, every event, and every studio session felt hollow. He missed his children, the comfort of family meals, and the way Yandi would glance at him to see how he was doing. Despite knowing that he was to blame, he still couldn't comprehend how everything fell apart so quickly. Erica was nearing the end of her pregnancy, and although her body was exhausted, since of all the chaos, her baby shower was cancelled, but some of her friends still came over to give her a small, secret celebration since her mind was more focused than ever and she spent many hours journaling in an attempt to digest everything. She grinned more that day than she has in months, with no cameras, no drama, just love. However, there was a persistent burden even during those peaceful times. How was she raising her child? What sort of father would Mene and DC actually be? Erica experienced a mixture of happiness and fear when the baby eventually arrived. A healthy baby girl with a full head of hair. She hugged her kid and sobbed quietly, not out of pain but rather from all the things she had been holding inside. Mene received a brief message from her that read, "She's here safe and healthy." He immediately responded, offering to come to the hospital to see the baby, but Erica said, "No. Not right now," she said. "We'll work out the rest later. She deserves peace, and I deserve peace." For once, he listened instead of pushing. Within a day after the birth, a local blogger was tipped off by a nurse who recognized Erica. Once more, headlines went crazy. Mene the arrival of DC's infant daughter amid family strife. Erica gives delivery. Social media silence from Yandi. Nothing could have happened at a worse time. Yandi had recently begun to open up once more in an effort to proceed gradually. Although close sources said she fell down when she viewed the baby's photo online, she didn't publicly react to the news. Not because I was envious, but because it made things so definitive. In the hopes of a special episode chronicling the baby's debut in the upcoming chapter of the story, Bev1 producers reached out again. Erica flatly refused. Yandi did not respond at all. Mene only concur when he shows up for a solo photo shoot and talks about becoming a father again, wanting to do things correctly this time, and growing from his errors. Although the part was emotional, it was also filled with. Mendeecees spoke of growth, but internet critics quickly pointed out that his actions hadn't matched his words. It was just empty promises once again. The network, sensing an opportunity, shifted their focus toward a narrative of co-parenting and redemption, portraying Mendeecees as a man trying to reunite with his family. They even proposed a mini-series and a therapy-focused spin-off. However, Yandi refused to be involved. In her view, the cameras had already taken too much away from her healing process. She craved true peace and wanted her children to grow up away from the constant noise and chaos. Still, she couldn't fully escape the spotlight. Fans followed her everywhere, online and offline. Every time she stepped out, phones buzzed. Every post drew floods of comments. People kept dragging her back into a story she was desperately trying to close. Some begged her to forgive Mendeecees, others praised her for walking away. Even her children started asking questions. Why do people keep talking about us? Why don't we live with Daddy anymore? Yandi did her best to shield them, but it was clear the damage had stretched far beyond her relationship with Mendeecees. To all men, After the baby was born, Mendeecees made another attempt to reach out. He sent gifts, flowers, and voice messages. He even delivered a letter to Yandi's new address. In the letter, he acknowledged everything and asked for only one thing. Let me prove to you that I can be better. Not for their children, not for them, just to be better. Yandi sobbed as she read the letter alone in her room. But this time, it wasn't pain she felt. It was exhaustion from having to constantly make difficult decisions. Weeks passed. The media frenzy died down. The headlines moved on from scandal, but behind closed doors, the three of them were still navigating the fallout. Erica focused on raising her daughter in peace, thinking about leaving the spotlight and starting fresh somewhere far away. Mendeecees began attending treatment, facing his issues honestly. Just him, a chair, and the consequences of his choices. No cameras. No crew. Yandi returned to her non-profit work, helping young girls find their voices. A mission that now felt even more personal. With time, small changes took root. Erica made it clear she was in charge. They were no longer friends or enemies, just three people bound by broken trust and a baby girl who never asked for any of this. Yandi allowed Mendeecees to see the children, but only under supervision. Slowly, the noise quieted. Then, unexpectedly, a reunion episode was announced. Just one night. Unplanned, unfiltered, raw. The broadcast included snippets of old memories, tears and laughter, and even excerpts from recent confessionals. Fans were eager and curious. Would all three appear? Would Yandi finally confront Mendeecees face to face? Would Erica speak honestly on camera again? The night arrived. The studio was packed. Security was tight. Cameras covered every angle. Yandi arrived first, calm but nervous, dressed in a simple black hoodie. Then, surrounded by a small group, Erica entered holding her daughter. When Yandi took the stage, the room fell silent. She sat, took a slow look around and said simply, "I'm here. For closure. Not drama. Not ratings." From that moment, the story was no longer about scandal or betrayal. Three people faced the unvarnished truth. Raw and real. Sometimes, the loudest endings are the quietest ones. And forgiveness doesn't always mean closure. Sometimes, it means emerging stronger than before. The silence as the reunion ended and the lights dimmed spoke louder than any script could, signaling a shift from denial to confrontation. Fans who had followed every twist endured a long, painful, and unforgettable journey through heartbreak and harsh realities. Each turn left them conflicted. Some wanted more. Others found closure. One thing was clear. This wasn't just another hip-hop love story. This actually happened.